Hey guys, welcome to Space Cadettes. I'm Shanice, this is Bean, and this is Jena.
Hi!
We have a good show tonight. We're going to talk about our favorite funny comics, our favorite quotes, and our personal holy grails of comics and shows and films. So we're going to start out with our favorite funny book. Jena, what's your favorite?
So I don't know how funny this book was, but it was hysterical for me. But it's by I've talked about it a few times, I think. But I can't not talk about it when it comes to the funny haha. It's by Scotty Young, Image Books. I Hate Fairyland. It is so out there and outrageous. Like you see the art style that's in it, and then like not even like 3 pages in, she blows up the moon, and it's literally just blood and guts and just like everywhere. And I laughed and laughed and laughed every single issue. I think every single issue I was laughing about something. And then the part where she's a samurai and she's like most her head buzzed and she's got her sword. She's just like, I'm ready. And you're just like, this 8-year-old little girl is just going around destroying a fairyland that's supposed to help her grow as a person.
I always love what is the little guy, you know,
the little light bug that's supposed to be her like guide.
Yeah.
And he's so sick and tired of her by like after 2 or 3 years of doing this, he's already like smoking cigars nonstop and drinking. Oh gosh, I forgot his name. No. Hold on. I literally have the big boy right beside me. Because look at that front cover.
I love it.
Hold on. It's right here. And then literally the first page is just like,
yo.
I can't show the second page. It's a very iconic. Oh my gosh. Oh, no. Oh, Larrigan Wentworth the Third.
Larry. There he is.
Yes, Larry. Oh, how did I forget? It's so just like, and then, oh, here it is. This is the scene I'm talking about.
Yo. Yep.
Like 3 pages in. And you guys know exactly. Exactly like how much I love this series. I love the series so much. I own all 4 of the trades and both of those and almost every single issue. Like this is, and then Scotty Young announced that she's coming back. And I'm like, how do you bring Gert back after that ending? Yeah. But yeah, it's got to be the funniest book that I've ever read. Oh my gosh. What about you, Bean?
I read one that when you guys asked me like what the funniest one was, immediately my brain thought about one that I want to talk about just like for a second because I thought it was gonna be hilarious, and it actually ended up being like way more real than I thought it was gonna be, which is the One Star Squadron that just came out of DC. Like, have you guys seen about that one?
I've heard about it.
I think I got the first issue.
Yeah, and it's literally like the cover of it is literally like money raining on like these like superheroes, you know, and I believe it has the Red Tornado is like the main character. It's running it's basically like the Cameo site, but for superheroes. So it's like superheroes who are so down on their luck they have to participate in the gig economy. And like it has a lot of humor in it, but that one was actually way more like real and sad because it's superheroes literally being like, my power got cut off.
Oh my gosh.
It was still good, but like it looks really humorous, but it gets serious. But the other one I thought of that was absolutely just hilarious is one from Action Lab Comics, and it's called The Citizen. It's like I don't think it's like a really broadly read one. And it's the concept of it is it's a world where everyone is a superhero except for one guy, the one citizen. And like it's so funny because like he's like working at his job and then there's a bank robbery and the entire office except for him is like, oh no, I've gotta go. Oh, let's go on. Like they all make excuses and they all run away. And like,
Oh my gosh.
that one was hilarious though. Like that's a good one.
So it's like everybody had powers, or like everybody had one specific power, or everybody had just like a lot of powers, or like Superman.
Everyone both had their own individual superpowers, and in this world they are all of them are also superheroes or supervillains. Like every person in the entire world, or like at least in the city he lives in, also has like alternate identity and full costume and full everything. Like,
oh my god.
But Shanice, what's your favorite funny book?
So mine, actually have a copy of it. It's one of my most books. It's called Next Wave Agents of Hate.
Ooh.
Oh,
it's really great. And because they have their own theme song where one of the lyrics is, it's like Shakespeare, but with lots more punching. The idea about this book is so silly and it's so over the top. And there's a character who's a parody of Nick Fury, but his name is actually Dark Anger, and he's just legit unhinged. And he has like this death wish, and it's great. And this was a book that got me actually introduced me to Monica Rambeau. She's just so done with everything that happens in this book, and whenever I tell people about it, it's like just imagine like It's Always Sunny, kind of, but in a proper universe a little bit.
Yeah,
it's quite as extreme, but yeah, it's a really fun book, and yeah, with a lot of interest on Monica, I definitely recommend it.
nice.
That is so cool. Oh my gosh. So is it done, or is it like there's more issues? Like, do you know?
So it's done. It came out, oh gosh, over a decade ago.
Oh, okay.
So it's been out for a while. And yeah, it was just I found out about it because I don't know when I was looking up, and it's like Next Wave theme song. It's like what? And I saw that line. I'm like, I need to find this book now. You just have like this, like the what do you call them? Celestials, just like bullying this character, just dunking on him, just saying, yeah, you're just kind of lame, like a loser, just go away. And the guy's like, I'm not crying. It's like, you're like, are you crying? It's like, no.
No, I'm not crying. You're crying. Strong hero.
It's great. And whenever like I'm just not in like the best moods, I'm like, I'm gonna read Next Wave because it's great. Yeah.
Oh, you need to make that your pick one week so that we can read it, or I'll just read it. So
Oh, definitely. Next time I see, I'll just go. Yeet. Just
your book. I'm like, oh god, book. Hey Jenna, why do you have a black eye? Should you look at me? It was her pick of the week. I mean, I'm fine. We're okay.
I mean, you are the one like that. I don't remember if it was you or your brother who described it in this way, but we were talking. I think it was your brother who said, yeah, Jenna, one day she just threw pestilence at me. As the book, but like it's still like it's stuck in my mind, and I don't think he realized why I was laughing at that. But
yes. So what's funny about that is I did kind of actually throw it at him. Like so for what he does, he works 16-hour shifts, 12 to 16-hour shifts. So he takes books with him to read like during the lulls when he doesn't have any emails to do. And he had his backpack and he didn't have any books in it. And he was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to take anything. And I had just finished it. So I closed it and I like half frisbeed it really softly to his backpack. So it was like I threw it at him. But like, yeah, so I am not mean to my little big brother.
Oh man.
He's older than me and he's taller than me, but I'm a whole 5'1",
Mm-hmm.
full of rage. Oh my goodness. So what is like your favorite quote from like either like a comic book movie or a comic like itself? Should you go first?
Oof. See, I gotta think about it. Just so many, I can't narrow it down. Can I pass the phone to score?
Yeah, it has to be. What do you got?
Oh man. Well, so you have to understand that like I do not have a good memory for like verbatim quotes. Like it's like it's always been a thing for me. Like I cannot remember. And I also know like I don't remember names very well. I remember all the details about a character. I remember all the details about a plot, but like trying to remember like word for word stuff doesn't happen. Like but and I think because we were just talking about like funny books, and now I'm just like thinking about Saga, because Saga is not funny, but like it has hilarious moments in it.
Yeah.
And you know, it just started back up too. So it's like in my brain. Yeah.
I couldn't control myself. I didn't get to come in on the day.
Oh.
It was me and my husband's anniversary. So I didn't get to come in and do this. So I have to do it now. You okay? Oh my god, did I find your panini?
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Yes.
Saga! Okay, I'm good. Sorry, continue me.
Yeah. But I think that one of my favorite moments in comics and like my favorite quote, which honestly I couldn't even say this due to the content of it, but it's the one character's death scene in Saga, who is the costume designer with all the vines, and she dies the way she lived. And that's like one of my favorite moments from like comics ever. My favorite quote. I want it as a poster so bad. Like,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So if you know the quote, you know the quote. So
what we need to do is we need to go to like Kinko's or whatever and just be like, can you print this like big though? Like as big as you can make it.
big.
And then they print this 50-foot thing and we'll take
you'll see the bottom half of it. Like we'll leave the words up at the top. Because I think the words are at the top. So it'll just be the bottom. Like people who know what that frame, that like comic like page looks like will know what it is. So
oh my god.
Yup.
Oh, all right, Shanice, do you have an idea now, or?
So from my favorite quote from I guess just from like the comics, I can't remember it like word for word, but it's actually from Preacher. It's where his dad, he's telling him you gotta be one other good guy's son because there's like way too many of the bad, and that's because I read that comic when I really shouldn't have because I read it back in high school, but it always stayed with me like whenever I just because I know where like it's like hey just try to be like a good person, like add more positivity to the world, like don't be a jerk, like don't be someone who spoils movies like right after they come out to your friends on accident, like don't be that person. But not saying I've done that, but you know it's such a good quote. And
wow, y'all have much better ones than mine.
Oh no, I want to hear yours. I'm excited.
No, mine is actually from the Spider-Man movie that nobody like talks about. Spider-Man 3. When he's like, when are you gonna pay the rent? I'll pay the rent when you fix this door. And it's just like, I don't know why that just like gets me every single time. I die. I was just like, nope, okay. This is okay, Tobey Maguire. I see you.
Working class hero because he's telling his landlord like, hey, do what you're supposed to do and I'll give you my money. So Parker, like I vibe with that.
Just the whole scene itself, the whole movie is so outrageous, and the whole scene is just something extra. And then just Tobey Maguire just like yelling, just like yes. Do you guys remember the face he makes with it?
No, it's been so long since I saw that movie.
Oh, his eyes just get like yeah.
It's so unhinged. It's just fun.
and I don't know why. Like when I'm having just like a whatever day, I'll go rewatch that scene on YouTube or something and just be like, okay, I'm good now.
You need to send that to me sometime so that I can also have that to watch. You know, there is a quote I read recently in a book that really stuck with me, and it was from the series The Human Target, and it's there in one of them. Booster Gold is opening a bagel shop. And then the slogan of his bagel shop is and I'm probably gonna get this wrong, but it's close enough. If evil be near, get some schmear. It's so funny.
And also, Shanice, did you watch the series Preacher?
I watched the first season. And I couldn't watch the other ones, but I do need to go back to it. I liked what I saw.
Every episode was quotable. Every episode. Like, they did so good. I really enjoyed it. I was really sad that it got canceled when it did, but it was so good. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. But talking about a series, because I know the other thing we were kind of talking about to discuss this episode was like props that we would want to, like, if we could go steal something off of a set and like just have a movie prop, like what would be like your dream movie prop to own?
Oh gosh.
Oh,
I can go first because I actually have a very specific kind of morbid one that I've wanted to start literally since I was a child. I have always wanted to collect heads. Because, like, all the movies where, like, people lose heads, you know? Like, I don't know why. I think, I don't even remember. It might have been, like, when I was watching Lord of the Rings as a kid. I was, like, and maybe I saw them, like, making the prop head. I was like, I want that head. And then I remember I got older, and I watched Sin City, and I was like, I want Elijah Wood's head. Like, and imagine just like coming
so
have like a display of just all these fake heads, like, you know.
So now we know what to get you for Christmas and your birthday and Hanukkah. Got it.
It's like all I'm picturing is like it's like the governor from The Walking Dead, how he had like just like the room
yes.
with zombie heads. And I'm just going home like, oh yes, look at my collection. It's just like random actors.
Oh my gosh, you mean like the witch did from Return to Oz? Where she could just like trade heads, and that would just be her head. Like, oh. Bean, is there something you want to tell us?
Hey man, you can't judge. Like,
there's no judge. There's no judge here.
It's about 5,000 people being murdered, and that's just fun. My heads.
That makes mine sound so much better because I know exactly. And what's sad is we actually have one in our store. And if I ever have that much money with that many zeros behind it, you know, it might come to my house. Or if it's ever not in the store, don't look here first. It's so we actually have a replica that's the exact size of what they're supposed to be of the alien egg with a face hugger coming out of it. And this thing is huge. It's almost the size of me. And it's so big. And I just want to I bet I could like sit in it. And I want it so bad. And everybody knows I have a small obsession with Alien and aliens. Like for our anniversary gift, I got 3 alien trains. So yeah, I want anything from those, but like specifically, I would really want the egg and the face hugger. I have a little plushy face hugger, but I would love a life size. Just like throw it at somebody's face. Yes, I want it so bad. I love it. Wants to. And it's not like I would, put it in anybody's rooms to just like give them nightmares or anything. No, I would want them to admire its greatness. What about you, Shanice? What prop would you want?
So many.
There's so many. I know.
It's like, oh man. But if I ever just got my brilliant hands on like Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman suit, because that is like like Zoe Kravitz's Catwoman. Like I love how her suit looks.
Yeah.
And Michelle Pfeiffer's it's great. Like I really want that suit.
Yes. Oh my gosh. On every level, yes.
Like just stare at it. Like not even aware. Like it's great.
What about costumes? Are there any like specific costumes for movies that you guys would want? Like Shanice would want Catwoman, but like, is there like another like costume from head to toe that you would just be like zoink? I know.
A tough one. I was just also thinking that like I would want anything from any of the Hellboy movies. So maybe like his trench coat or something. Like that would be really cool to have.
Yes.
So
and then like if you would get the prop of his like fist, like yes, Bean. Bean is the next Hellboy.
Yes.
His gun.
Yeah.
That's gonna be great.
Yeah. Gimme. I think anything from either any of the Hellboy movies has just been like top tier costume designs and like practical effect designs have been just like amazing, especially in the second one where it's the Golden Army.
Mm-hmm. So good.
Oh, if I could be the Death Angel, just that would be the costume I would probably steal. Just like Doug Jones again, killing it. I love everything that man does. Shanice, what about you? Is there another costume you would just be like zoink?
Toss up between 2 other ones. See, the Spider-Man suit from the Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
I will die on this hill. I think that's still like the best looking spider suit that I've seen.
The one with Andrew Garfield, right?
Yeah, it's the second one, like with the big wide eyes. Like it's.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And Netflix's Daredevil's suit. It's really cool because it's like because I like how it doesn't look like exactly like this dude from the comics, but it's changed just enough that it's like okay, I understand why I had to make the changes and it works. And that shade of red is just so.
Oh my gosh! Yes.
This isn't so. It just made me think of it. It's a little like not on topic, but what's going on right now, like in the Daredevil comics recently, where he's like in jail, and so then let's see who's taken over for him. I'm trying to remember. Yes, Elektra. Her Daredevil costume right now, I am in love with it. It is so cool, and it is so like practical too. Like, I love that.
Oh my gosh!
It's a really dope suit. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked the Suicide Squad Harley Quinn's dress.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. I would love to just go around just like after it's all like bloodied and messed up, it's been ripped at the bottom. You know, where she spends the second half of the movie in the dress. Like that would be mine. Because with the boots and everything, I feel like that would just be so perfect for a way for Jena to just destroy everything.
She's got the red dress on. Ah!
Oh, I got the dress and the boots. Let's go. Oh. I could go meet Bean at her office with Doc Ock, and we could just be supervillains together.
Back to that conversation.
I will die on this hill. Bean would end up being a supervillain with Doc Ock. This hill. Me and you will have benefits at LexCorp until I turn when I get my dress and boots. And then I will have to go join Bean, and we will have to take some of the gadgets that her and Doc Ock came up with and just like, how dare you not recycle? Now you're dead and we're going to recycle you.
He put his can of soda in the wrong container. He had to learn. Like,
He has to go.
Oh man.
Well, all right, guys. We do have to take a little bit of a break while we go and try and plan out our devices that we need to take from Doc Ock. So we will be right back. Bye.
This is The Experience.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hey there, hi there, ho there. You're as welcome as can be.
Hi, I'm Nancy McCann. Welcome to Friday Night Live on The Experience.
Welcome everybody to Fat Jack's Comic Crypt. Brendan, Al, Jason, hanging out.
There I am. Welcome back to Kicking It with Henry, folks. I am your host, Henry Kumpa. It's great to be here with you guys.
So we are going to talk about books that are in stores this week.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Mishmash.
Hello, and welcome to the Black Comics Universe, presented by Peep Game Comics.
And you gotta love it that the first people in to minute to skim it are creators.
Up, everybody! Welcome to another Wednesday Warriors. My name is Joey Galvez, and this is my pal Ambrosia.
Hey, everybody! Welcome to Space Cadettes.
Hey!
What's up?
Welcome, everyone, for another episode of I Must Ask You a Question.
Hi, everybody! Welcome to Nerd News Now.
Hey, this is Rex. Welcome to Comic Collectibles.
Hey, hello, all you happy people. Welcome to the Dan Wickline Show.
Hi, everybody, and welcome. Is the crazy show that we do on Thursdays called What's in the Box? What's in the Box?
Comic culture and sales.
Hey guys, welcome back. It's Jena, Bean, and Shanice from Space Cadettes here with Space Cadettes again. So we do have something like a little series to talk about. So a lot of people who know me and everybody at the store knows this. I am mostly blind in one of my eyes and the other one doesn't do very well. I am taking steps to try and fix it. But for now, I do have trouble reading actual physical copies of like single issues and stuff. And especially here lately, whenever, I hate to throw them under the bus, but whenever I open a Marvel book or a DC book, they're literally trying to put almost a whole page's worth of like dialogue in a box this big. And I can't, I just can't. And a lot of times for indie stuff, I can get it. If I bought the book, I can get it, online pretty easily. They just like, you type in your barcode or whatever it is, and there it is. I can read it and I can make it bigger. I can, move it around. It's a lot easier for me to read. and it's a lot easier. What I do is I turn to the next page, or I tap and it shows me the whole page, so I can get the idea of like the artwork and everything, and then I can make it bigger per panel so I can read it. Like I can make it as big as I need to be able to read it. I can't do that with the Marvel and DC books though. If I go online, they want me to rebuy the book. And I love having a physical book though, because it supports my LCS, my local comic book store. It supports a little better all the people that have to do, that job to get the physical copy out there. Plus, I like to have different covers. And my eyesight is starting to improve a little bit here and there, but it's still, I'm hoping someday I am to being able to read that again. And it's just I showed Bean earlier on my tablet. I had one of my indie books on it, and I showed her how big I have to make it. And so it's just, it's getting worse. It's getting a lot worse, especially the Marvel books. When you buy a Marvel book, in the middle of the book, there's usually like a download code. Most of the time, it's not for the book you paid for. It's for another completely different book for like next month or in a couple of months it's coming out. So it's just, I just hope if anybody in the industry at all sees this, I actually know there's a whole side of the community, comic book community, that are kind of like me. We can't, please stop making them so small. I love books. I love reading your books. Can you make it just a little more accessible for us to be able to read it? What are your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, that's a big thing that I'm always like looking for ways and trying to find ways so that like, because comics are already like a more accessible medium than some other things, because it is nice because you don't have to read a full page of text in order to understand a story. But yeah, and it's just, like I said, it's just little things, and it's little things that people who don't struggle would never think of, and it's just really interesting to kind of think of like how lettering can be changed and how that can be incorporated to try to make it just easier for people to be able to enjoy the story.
Because a lot of times this is my like, every day is stressful with my eyes already. And I love sitting down with my books, either on my tablet or ones that have made bigger ones, to be able to, just sort of escape.
Yeah.
Janice, any thoughts or anything?
Oh, I agree. It's like another thing that I think people don't realize, like when they like create certain comics, like if they have like a certain like stylized choice, like the word balloons, like maybe they'll use different colors for the background of the word bubble, and different colors for the actual lettering. Realize like, hey, some people, they may not be able to read that. Like, I understand what you're trying to do, and it looks cool, but you have to. But then you go online, and you're like, hey, I really want like this book, but I just could not figure out what was going on here. And I always, it's something, now I'm thinking about it, like I know that sometimes like for other forms of media they'll have something that translate, maybe it's just wrong word here, but translating like text to audio. And I've always wondered how you can do that for like comics. Like I'm sure hopefully in 2022 there's a way to do that.
Yeah.
But like, like, oh, I want to read like a Superman comic, but it's just hard for me. I physically can't read one.
Yeah.
So I've always just kind of been curious about that, especially for like brand new books, or even older books. Like, what do you do for fans? Because they have every right to access these comics. It's something I generally don't even think about until I guess this conversation.
Yeah, it's something that's kind of like, oh, well, comics, it's art and this and that. And there actually have been a couple of things where I couldn't read it at all because they made it tiny, like so tiny. Because I think there was one where I think it was Ant-Man I was trying to read last year. Yeah. And he was in his ant form, so they made it even tinier. And I was like, this just looks like a box to me. I wish I knew what was going on, because 2 pages later, I literally was so lost because they had just spent the last 2.5 pages in that, and I get so turned off that I'm like, if they're gonna do this in the future, I can't do that. I'm sorry, guys. And so yeah. Tell us what you guys think about it down in the comments, and what you guys would change if you could.
Yeah.
Yeah, so sorry, got a little serious, but that's okay. We'll come right back. What is y'all's Holy Grail comic? Like the comic. Like if you had all the money in the world and all the sources backing you, what would be the comic you would get?
I've got a few, but I'll pick this one because I've been thinking about this character a lot lately. Amazing Spider-Man 122. But not for the reasons people are thinking. It's like, oh, she wants it for Green Goblin. Like, no, I want it for Mary Jane. I still maintain, like, just in a few panels in that issue has to be one of the best characterizations I've seen for a character, an actual character development and growth, and that's just by her just like not walking out of Peter's apartment, and I just. Mary Jane she's one of my favorite characters, and I want that issue just for that. And whenever I tell people oh, I want this issue if I can find it, they're like, oh, is it for Green Goblin? It's like, no, it's for Mary Jane. They're like, what? It's such a beautiful scene. Like I just want for the end of this issue, really. And when Stacey goes, spot, but.
Oh my gosh! Just get some. Wow.
No, she's fine. She's
fine. She's fine. It's fine.
In some plays, or she wins in the end, I guess.
What about you, B?
I don't have a Holy Grail comic or anything. Because I think the way that I collect is that I like to have like all of something. I like to have all of a series. And so I think for me, like that's like my achievement. And it's not necessarily like some of the books are expensive. Like I came into Saga a little bit late. And so the only issues I'm missing are like 3 of them. I'm pretty sure it's like number 1, number 2, and then a random one also under 10. So it's like probably if I was just given infinite money, I would probably buy Saga number 1, which is not even like a super expensive book, but it's a book that I really want. But I think that like completing my Saga collection, which that's almost all the way done. But I think that like if I actually just was given infinite money to do what I want to do, I would fill out and complete the Wicked and the Divine.
Oh.
Because I have about half of them, which is a lot already. But like you know, that's the kind of collector I am though. Is I want to have all of something, and I want it all to be cover A, and that's what I want. That's like my goals. So.
Oh my gosh. This one's a little hard for me because I've pretty much gotten like everything I wanted. I guess it's just okay, I know. So I have every issue from 6 onward is Something is Killing the Children. No. From 4 onward is Something is Killing the Children. So I'm missing 1, 2, and 3. But I do have reprints of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I have like the reprints. So I think if I had all the money, I would go back and get, I think, like a first print just to be like match the rest of my first prints. Maybe. But yeah, so I've got a couple of different reprints for Action Comics number 1. I've gotten a reprint, a first appearance of Venom. So it's weird. Like every comic I've wanted, I've found a way to get, except for like 1, 2, and 3 of Something is Killing the Children. I've gotten reprints of number 1. I couldn't find any reprints or 2 or 3. But so Boom is really amazing with their online presence of being able to read books. They're like, oh, you bought it already? Well, here you go. And I'm just like, thank you. I love reading it so much. And mad props to them for doing that. What I want to talk about is Shanice's pick of the week. I just got, so this was one of those ones that Jay actually had to read to me because look, I actually have it. Ha 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 ha. And this beautiful cover. I love this cover. And I love the front of it. It's like, you know the drill. Yada yada, X-Men, yada. I just, so good.
And I know that's not the main cover. Actually, I don't remember which one was the main cover because we sold out of it so quickly.
Yeah, this was cover B.
Okay. I know they're all gorgeous though. Like,
yes. First and foremost, what I want to ask is, Shanice, why did you pick this book?
I picked it because She-Hulk is awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, She-Hulk is awesome. And I was really excited for it because the writer, she wrote. I know she's also she also writes novels, and I hope that she writes more comics because I love what I've read from her so far. I really liked her Runaways run, which I thought was a lot of fun. It's I think my second favorite one after Brian K. Bonds, which is really saying something after of all the people who's actually written for those characters.
Yeah.
And I wanted you guys to read it because I felt like it was a really fun jumping in point for the character, especially with a certain Marvel show coming out.
Yes.
So yeah. Check it out.
All right, so Bean, do you want to tell us what your thoughts of the comic was?
Yeah, and I was really happy with it, and I kind of expected it to be easy and like easy for me to jump in, which I'd always been a little bit confused because working with comics for so long now, it's like and like just being around comics, I would see She-Hulk on the cover a lot of like Fantastic Four stuff, and I was always kind of like, like, and I knew like there was something to like going on there, but I didn't know if maybe she was just like in there with them a lot. But then this one really goes into the fact like she literally does like cliff notes where she's like, yeah, I was part of the Avengers, I was part of the Fantastic Four for all this time, and she's talking about like, you know. And I really loved it, like reading it right now, like because she's like down on her luck and she's struggling and she has to find a new apartment and she doesn't have a car.
Okay, I just want to say, can we talk about that closet that she walked into? So if anybody, I'll give you the gist of what, I'll set this up for everybody who's watching. She is kind of down on her luck, and she met somebody, they fought in the street, and then she went over to Wasp, who they're really, really close friends. Wasp has an extra apartment, and she's like, man, I don't use this except for when you have to crash here. And She-Hulk's just like, yep. Thanks. And she's like, do you need anything? And she's like, nope, I'm fine. Yeah, I think I didn't take anything out. I think all your stuff's still here. I'll catch you later. Nah. And then just like leaves. And then of course, you know, She-Hulk is just like, please, dear God, please, dear God, please, dear God. She opens this amazing walk-in closet, and it's just all of her stuff. And that hat. Oh, my soul. Can we talk about how amazing that walk-in closet was and all those clothes that were in there, and then that bathtub she got into? I would kill. I love my house, but I would kill for that.
I know that. See, my part of that really stuck out to me was where she like goes in. There's like that huge bed, and she just like lays down and is just like, and then I love that part.
She walked up to the couch and hugged the couch and was like, hello, lover. And I'm like, okay. So she's going to sleep on the couch. She has the whole apartment. And then she goes to the bed. And I'm like, oh, I see. Yes, because she's a lawyer. And many nights falling asleep working on the couch.
Yeah, it was such a good introduction to that character. Like, I feel like I know her, like I've known her for a long time now, and I don't know. I just think it was an incredible first episode or first issue. Like, good.
Yes. It kind of, what did it remind me of? Oh, so my first introduction to She-Hulk was actually Gwenpool's Christmas crossover where she was having a Christmas party. And I was like, oh, okay, this is, she's already established and stuff like that. And then I get this one and I'm like, oh no, what happened? Oh no, you had an amazing loft for sadness. You had this great big Christmas party with all these heroes. Do you know? Oh, and then her fight, where she was like, how about we don't knock each other out and go to jail?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just fight you later. You can let off steam and I can let off steam. And the other chick's like, are you okay? Do you need some clothes? Because she takes off her skirt right there in the middle of the street. And then who was it? It was who is she fighting? I can't remember now.
Titania.
Thank you. Yes. Titania's just like, what are you doing? She's like, we are not fighting in my only suit. I was like, I felt that.
Yeah.
I felt that so hard. I was like, oh no.
That's like one of those things that it always gets brought up. I always think of it too. It's like they're in these fancy clothes and then they're just like poof. And it's like, that was expensive.
Yes.
How you got all this clothes money?
That was the most relatable moment in comics I think there's ever been, where she took off her skirt in the middle of a busy New York street. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, this is my only suit. No. And then she's like, wait, your only suit? And then she whacks her with a stop sign.
Yeah.
Like, are you okay? Whack.
Yeah, she's been going through some things in the last couple of years. Like, as y'all read the recap, it's like, oh, poor Jennifer.
Oh,
this is her last cute outfit. She really can't mess it up.
Do you know, like, specifically, like, if somebody was like, this is awesome, I want to go back and like read, like, what series? Like, do you know what series to like go look for the trades of?
So for She-Hulk, like, truth be told, I've only read like two other runs of hers. Charles Soule's run from a few years back was so good. One of my like prized possessions, actually, I never went signed by him when he came by the store for a signing, and it's a really fun. It's a really fun book. You get to see her, doing cool lawyer things, and she teams up with Matt Murdock. She has to defend Old Man Steve. It's great. And
hold on, time out. I'm sorry. Time out. Hold on. Just as somebody who is pre-law and worked in a law firm for a couple years, cool lawyer things.
Yes.
Literally just paperwork.
I'm not trying to anger any lawyer watching this in case we need them when you guys go supervillain at some point. So I'm doing us a favor. I don't know if you're trying. Any lawyers watching this, this is the one you're not going to defend. Defend me and Bean. Ignore Jenna.
I'm serious though. Like 90% of the time, it was going over paperwork and just trying to call the same person over and over again. And cool. That part was cool. Okay.
Well, this is comics, Jenna. It's not real life. They can do cool lawyer things in comics.
Oh, okay. I'm just trying to figure out at what point, anytime, what would you consider a cool what would you consider a cool lawyer thing?
Justice is
cool. A giant green lady shows up in court. I consider that very fun. I don't know what the trial is. Like, oh, this is a horrible murder suit. Oh, yeah, this is great. Hi, green lady, this is fun right now. Her sheer presence, like brings joy to no matter what this trial is. I consider that fun.
Okay. I can, like, actual courtroom action. Yeah, I guess that's cool lawyer stuff. I mean,
I've played Ace Attorney. I know. It's exciting there.
Okay, B.
Oh man. All right, so the Charles Soule run of She-Hulk is what you should check out.
Yes. It was a run that was so good. I wish that it lasted just a little bit longer, but I'm pretty sure that they'll re-release it over the next couple of months. Definitely check it out. Dan Slott's run is a lot of fun. Just for the fact that to go, because it's so the whole thing about She-Hulk is that she breaks the fourth wall and Superman. It's really fun. Dan Slott's run, she had to go to the archive in this law firm that she was working for, or for this company that she was working for now, and they called the archives, if I remember correctly, the pull list. And I got to go to the pull list to go for the files.
Is that where we got to name our pull list?
But, it's really great, and I've heard. Well, I've also read and heard that checking out her older series, like the Sensational She-Hulk is worth checking out. I've just never been able to actually find them physically.
Yeah.
So I can't really vouch to say if they're good or not.
Do we know if they're out on trade, like trade paperback or graphic novel?
I'm sure that they exist, but they may have been out of print for a while. But again, I'm happy that these shows and films are happening, because it's Marvel and DC people want to check out the backstory of these characters. Let's make it affordable for them in a complete collection.
Yeah.
Instead of, digging through backstock for hours, which is fun, but it adds up. I'm sorry, Jenna, I break you about the fun, cool lawyer thing.
A little bit, because I wish. Let me tell you what the coolest part about working at my law firm was. So we would always hire fresh people straight from law school to give them a chance, right? But it was my job as head secretary to make sure they treated their secretaries and people that and their assistants and their interns not like trash. So instead of the partners or any of the higher up ones ever getting involved, it was my job to ask or see if one of the other part of our department was being mistreated. They would come to me right away, and it was my job to make a big enough scene to get the partners involved, to get one of the upper guys involved, to be oh, you treat everybody like trash. You were on probation for, this was your 30 to 60 day probation with us. We see you're hard to handle. Goodbye. So there was this one scene in particular where he had actually grabbed the butt of the secretary that I had personally hired because she was new and, she was good at her job. She needed somewhere to work. So I personally hired her to help this new guy who just came in, and he grabbed her butt, and she was like, no, don't do that. And we had a very, very strict policy of zero harassment and zero negative, 1,000% of sexual harassment in our office. And he did it again the next week, and then he threatened her job. So I came in, and what I did was I literally took all of his paperwork that he had done for the whole week prior that we didn't check for him to make sure it was done or not. Turns out it wasn't, because he didn't think it was his job. Throw it all in the air. And I pointed and started screaming at him. He needed to start doing his own paperwork and stuff. And of course, two of the our main the people who started the law firm forever ago come walking by, and they're like, oh my gosh, Mrs. Bonnet, what's going on, what's wrong? I was like, for 2 weeks straight he's refused to do his own paperwork, and I've got him on camera harassing so and so, and they were they fired him right there on the spot. And the guy was like, you can't fire me based off of, a secretary, blah, 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 blah. And he actually had to be escorted out. So in the almost 2 years that I was there, that was probably the most exciting part of our day.
And if you could have turned into She-Hulk, you could have just thrown him out the window.
There's a giant green lady. Things get super exciting real fast.
But seriously, 99% of our time was just paperwork. Just make sure everybody signed all of their paperwork and all the wording was right in it. So it's just no.
Another thing about Soul's Run. So I don't know if you guys know about Charles Soule, but he's also a lawyer too.
Oh.
So actually reading She-Hulk, who's a lawyer, from our guy who's also a lawyer, it made it more interesting. So I was like, oh, so he knows what's up.
Our producer said that sounded exciting. It was not as exciting as it sounds. I'm just hyping it up. Like, it was literally just me threw all the paperwork in the air. It was like, look, we're not going to do your paperwork. And he was like, well, that's your job. And I'm like, no, it is your job to be signing your own paperwork and getting your clients to sign your own paperwork. Oh, Mrs. Bonnet, what's going on? I was like, he's refused to doing his job and I have him on camera sexual harassment. Oh, we're going to have to let you go. That was it. Like, it was not that exciting. Okay, we need to move on from this story. It is Bean's turn to tell us her pick of the week. Please tell me something to read.
Okay. I am picking one of my favorite books ever. It is called Die. And it is from Image, and it is loosely based off of like Dungeons and Dragons, but you don't have to know Dungeons and Dragons in order to read and thoroughly enjoy this, because it's all made up and most of it takes place in the fantasy world itself. But the title refers to the plural of dice. There were 20 issues, to reflect the 20-sided dice. There's a lot of like, basically it's kind of like there's this game that these kids start playing, and by magical means they get transported directly into the fantasy world, which is all built around like RPG themes and like the dice systems and everything, but they get stuck there for years and years. And it's so good. And like, I'm gonna make sure you guys have like the first trade, at least read the first one, because it's just really, really cool. I'm so excited for you guys to read it.
And definitely not to be confused with Die, Die, Die by Image, right? I have a small story about that. So when those books were coming out, they would come out the same week.
Mm-hmm.
Every month they'd come out in the same week. So we'd be like, are we looking at Die or Die, Die, Die? And I'm just like, well, this person is the same thing.
But yeah, so that's my pick. I'm so excited.
I can't wait to read it.
Yes.
And
so
the book is like beautiful too.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to reread it. It's great.
Oh yeah, you've already read it. That's right.
That's okay. It's a new journey for Jena and a rehash for Shanice.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much detail in that book too that I'm like, I'm looking forward to rereading it. I'm probably gonna reread the whole series, honestly, just because it's so good. Like, yeah. But yeah, well, that is all we have time for today. That was my pick. Next week we get to talk about Die. I'm so excited, along with all of the other chaos that we'll come up with. And so this has been me, Bean, and Jena, and Shanice. And we are logging out for the week from Space Cadettes. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.